Hi, this is my first video, so go easy on me. But basically, I am restoring a very late Mexi. This is a 2003 Mexi Bug, one of the last ones they made that wasn't an Ultima. Now, I did drive this thing in here, there was nothing really wrong with it. But yeah, as you can see, I've stripped it all down. Chassis under there, the chassis has been powder coated. I started this 7-8 months ago now. It's December, it's Christmas Day now, 2018. And I drove this in here in about May this year, 2018. So this is where I'm up to it at the moment. Half stalled. It's still going ahead, but I am going to. I've got a lot more to do, as you can see. Right, I'm very happy with the chassis. To be fair, though, that has been powder coated, as I say, both sides. I know a lot of people won't want powder coated chassis, but this is never going to be a daily car again. Well, you never know, but it's certainly never going to be a show car. I know that. I just want it to be as reliable as it was before I took it apart. So. To be fair, it's a reasonably solid car. There's no welding. Well, I can't weld for a start. There's no welding needed. Left-hand drive, obviously. Bit of string there. That goes up to my interior light somewhere up there. Just so I can remember how to do all that. But I took it completely apart. Complete overkill, to be fair. But, you know, as you can see, it's all factory. That's factory intended. Not quite, actually. I put some sound deadening in about 10 years ago when I bought the car, and I haven't took that out because I'd only have to replace it, so... But yeah, it's nice and solid, doesn't need anything really, just going to paint it on the inside. Can't get these things off, what do you call them, the shuts, you know, the slam panels or whatever. I just can't get them off, so they're going to have to paint around them unless the painter can get them off. I know the doors can be a bit of a pain when you do want to take them off, but again, there's a bit of, oh no, the rubber seal's gone from there, so I'll leave that up to the painter. As I say, there's sound deadening in the doors as well. I did have it everywhere, as you can see, but I'd like this to be immaculately clean. So there you have it. Interior mirror, which nothing fits because the mirror on a Mexican fits on the glass, which is not in there, obviously. I broke the glass. Well, the glass was chipped, but I completely broke it taking it out, so that needs replacing. As I say, I did drive it in here, but the main thing that was wrong with it, it had a tiny bit of rust up here somewhere. And it's too high off the ground now. Oh, it's about there. Yeah, first world problems, eh? But I do need it sorting out. I mean, it is factory paint. That's a lie, actually. I had the roof painted once already, about 5-6 years ago. But most of it's factory paint, and it's not too shabby. I've seen worse. I mean, even with no interior and no glass, it's still a good solid shut on it, so that's another reason why I don't really want to take the doors off and take those slam things off. But, you know, it is what it is. Left-hand drive, so it's a bit dark under here. Let me just see if I can open this. Get some light in. Everything's out, fuel tank, obviously. I am going to paint the fuel tank. This needs painting in here. I had a trolley jack in here, and the piece of paper on the trolley jack box rubbed against the paint of the car, and it's rubbed the paint off. So that's probably an indication of how thin the paint is on these type of cars. So yeah, inspection panels are all off. They've all been powder coated. Yeah, it's going to be a right pain to get everything in there. I want the wiring nice and tidy as well. That's evidence of me wax oiling it in the past. That's evidence of me having LED lights in it, which is quite handy really when you come back to your car with a lot of shopping and you just light up the boot. So let's get that shut. Yeah, so quite... Sorry, I'm not a cameraman by any stretch of the imagination, just wait for my garage to shut. These are just gloves that I use to try and keep everything a bit tidier. This is factory under seal. I have tried a little wire wheel on there to try and get that off. Just there, but I'm going to leave that up to the painter. I do want it as immaculate underneath as I can have it on top. I'll say it's not going to be a show car, I know that, I just want clean, to be fair. So there's a mask, that shouldn't be there. Obviously no engine. Well, the engine's over there. We'll come to that in a minute. Yeah, I want all this to be clean. These Mexican ones, you don't get any tar boards in them, anything like that. So, I mean, it's still solid, but I've yet to decide what I want. It just needs to be clean and one colour. I'm not into this rat look stuff. I just need it to be clean and shiny. That is the one hole for every bit of wiring from the engine to the inside. I built this frame recently. I did have it on axle stands because factory tooling from Mexico gives you stuff like this, front and back. So yeah, I had the axle stands on there, but I needed to get my chassis underneath, so I built this wooden frame for not a great deal of money, to be honest, about 30 quid. Yeah, so I put all the ironmongery on, put all the wheels on and everything. I made it a bit too big, to be fair. It could have been, it's 7 foot wide to here. I could have got away with probably 6 foot wide and still got everything under it, but there you go. I'll sell that once the car's done, make some money hopefully. Yeah, so I'm just very paranoid about doing anything with that chassis at the moment, so I went to B&Q and bought some of this stuff. Pipe lagging. I've had this back about 6 months and it's just dusty as anything, but very, very clean. So there we go, let's go over to the engine. Now, I haven't touched this yet since I took it out. There's not anything wrong with it, as I say, I drove it in. It's only done 38,000 miles, I can't remember exactly. But yeah, it's just going to be cleaned. I've had all the powder, I've had all the tinware powder coated. Need to get these valve covers off. Factory rust on them there. Yeah, it's fine, to be fair. It ran. Good strong engine, the Mexican ones, to be fair. 1600 injection, little ECU on them. You know, you're not going to break any speed limits, but it does what it needs to do. It's a reliable old workhorse. This is most of my stuff, what I've taken off. Front spindles, Mexican only, because the stub axle is part of it. I mean, you probably could get that off, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to tidy them up, clean them, paint them. Everything pedal assembly. There's the fuel pump. There's the Z bar. I was debating whether to get that powder coated. Front shocks, they're going to be changed. Rear hub, rear brakes. Everything labelled up. There's a big box of everything that I've got labelled. What's this one? Left hand side rear brake parts. There we go, so I know exactly what that is when it needs to go back together. This one. Right hand side, something to do with the right hand side axle, but the other one of them. Gearbox is out. Obviously, they're heavier than they look. Again, it's not going to be a show car. I've painted it with an enamel paint. It's come up all right. Seems to be working. Well, it was working fine when it went in. A lot of people say the geared wrong, but I've never had any bother with this. It was my daily car. So the one thing I have done, put this back together. Now I've not torqued these bolts up yet, but I can't get this to move. But this one moves freely. So I don't know which one's right. I've took this out, messed about with it, left it there. This has been here about 3 or 4 months, not really done anything with it, so I need to go through this again. Obviously this will all be painted up as well, in black enamel. It's silver enamel on the gearbox. Not split the case or anything like that, that's fine. Doesn't need it. Moving over here, these are the front beam leaves. Again, I'm not into lowering cars, anything like that. It's going to go back standard as it was, so that's fine. Big box of parts. That's the petrol tank, which I'm going to have probably powder coated. It's really filthy underneath. It's silver on top. Alternator, seat belts, yada yada yada, bit of everything. Can't find the speedo at the moment, but it's about there. That's the glove box, the arse end of the glove box there. Wiper motor. That's the manifold out the engine. There's a petrol fuel filler. That's a Mexican only part for the, I can't think what you call it, the recirc. Goes under the bonnet to the engine. There's a rain guard, which won't be going back on. I didn't used to have a garage, so it was outside, but I don't really like them. That's the dashboard, which is full plastic. May get that covered if I can. Front and rear bumpers up there in the eaves. There's the head lining. That'll all need to come back. That's pretty much everything for the windows. There's quite a lot of stuff in the front windows and the doors and the glass and everything, all the felt channels and what have you. Let's say is my engine. Yeah, I've got a few. The four wings are up here again. They're all fine. They're all factory ones. I did dent one. I dropped the broom handle on it when I parked it in here once. The day I was on early on in the restoration, so that needs a little bit of knocking out. But apart from that, there's no rust on them or anything. Right, so there we have it. What else have I got? I was hoping to have this done for May next year. We're in December now. I can't see that happening, to be fair. But you never know. It's all logical. It goes back together. Nice and straightforward. It came apart really quick, to be fair. Didn't really struggle with anything. Headlining was a ball ache. But that was just coming out. I mean, going in. Yeah, you learn a few things all the time, don't you? So, but yeah. So there you go. That wasn't me. Someone put them on before I bought it. Debating whether to fill that in, but if I do that, I'll have to say the car's been welded, and don't really want that. So they might just get a bigger side repeater in there. Yeah, but that was the people that brought this car over. This is an Apple 2000 car, this one. Not a Beetle's UK one. It's still left-hand drive, so that's jolly decent. I'm the second owner. I bought it off the first owner with about 1,800 miles on the clock, so I've really got a good deal on this one. But yeah, it's all fine. I'd like to be able to lift the rear seat up eventually and just have the same colour paint everywhere. That's one of the things. So everything in here I want painting right. I mean, look at that. How did the factory paint it? Blue, 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 and then no paint, nothing. So I want it all the same colour. Actually, it's not blue, it's green, believe it or not. But it's called oceanic green, but it looks more blue in everyone's eyes. So, but it's staying that colour. Right, there you go. This is the first video. Let me know what you think. That's what they say in YouTube videos, don't they? So, okay, thank you. Cheers. Goodbye.